Are you searching for a place where you can live and learn? Where you can immerse yourself in your studies and still have room to roam? Where you can receive a world-class education and learn more about yourself? Where there are amazing opportunities in the here and now and even better on the horizon. If you want to find all this and still more, start here in Perth, Western Australia.
Are you tired of boring resumes? Meet iJourney, a digital timeline that captures your skills, creativity and character all in one place. Capture your career differently with iJourney.au.
A very good evening from the Tamandaya Hockey Stadium in Johor, Bahru, in Malaysia. It is time for match number 5 on day 2 of the Sultan of Johor Cup 2025. And this will see Australia, who've been the losing finalists the last 3 years, taking on the host nation, Malaysia, who had a pretty tough day at the office yesterday. And if you really look at the way that game went, their defence from penalty corners was really the problem. They conceded 5 penalty corners in a 7-2 defeat to Pakistan. But they'll be hoping that they can bounce back tonight and give their fans something to cheer about against Australia. A draw would be good for them. A win would be even better. But it will be a tough test against the mighty Australians who, as I say, have been perennial finalists, haven't won here for a while now. The last time they won was 2017, before the COVID pandemic, of course, and they haven't been able to get a victory since then. Australia looked pretty good in their game against New Zealand last night. I was shown the stats on the game, and they were pretty even, to be honest. The difference was Australia was so clinical when the chances came their way, and they managed to achieve a 4-0 victory. I must make an apology quickly because I robbed Oscar Sproul of a goal, because the angle we were at, I thought the ball had gone in directly from Tom Campbell. And I did speak to Oscar after the game and apologise for my mistake, but he was in front of the goalkeeper, just got a little deflection on it to fire it into the goal. So well done, Oscar Sproul, the man from Tasmania. And commiserations, Tom Campbell, because I gave you a pretty big talk up there. So, yeah, you owe me one now. But anyway, yeah, the game is about to get underway. The Australians have finished their warm-up now. And the Malaysians surrounding their coach. And it's been an interesting game so far. We had a cracker just go on, India against New Zealand. India victorious once again. But New Zealand really made them work in that final quarter. So the Malaysian players have heard the final words of their coach, Nur Saiful Zaini. He said before the tournament he expects them to be in a medal match. So today is going to be huge. In our interview with him yesterday before the game, he was saying they had to get points early. Otherwise, you can soon find yourself playing off for the last position to try and get out of that final playoff for 5th and 6th position. And of course Malaysia, well, the country would love to see their team doing well. They're passionate about their hockey here, and again, you talk to some of the other teams when you're in the hotel and they can't believe how passionate the fans are here. They wish some of the fans were as passionate back home in some of their countries, but unfortunately not the case. But Malaysia just need to get some success, be it at under 21 level or even senior level, to just give those fans something to cheer about. It's been pretty fallow times of late. Two captains down below us just shaking hands. Toby Mallon of Australia and Danish from Malaysia. They've tossed the coin, not quite sure who's won. I think Australia's Toby Mallon seems to have won, and Malaysia have said they will stay the way they are. I think they're going to attack right to left. Final handshake, and they will get things underway. I'm Ashley Morrison, looking forward to sharing the action with you once again today. Well, I've just read the weather app, and it was telling me that it's 27 degrees at the moment, feels like 30, and the humidity was 82%. Well, it doesn't feel that humid at the moment, certainly where we are high in the main stand, but it may be a little bit more humid down there pitch side. But usually it cools as the day goes on, so the later you play, the easier it can be. Australia having played the late game yesterday, on a little bit earlier. Malaysia had this time slot yesterday, so they will be used to this as well. We're just waiting for the umpires now to be given the nod to head out onto the field of play. And I can tell you the umpires for this game are Ryan Potter from New Zealand and Mohit Rawat from India. We wish them well, because it's a good game if you don't notice the umpires. And the video umpires, Amar Chudasama from England. Well, the umpires lead their way out, so too the two captains, followed by their players. The music playing in the background. Both these teams, there's a nice rivalry between them. Malaysia tend to visit Australia quite often, be it whether they play against state teams in Western Australia. They were recently in Queensland as well. So there's a real familiarity between some of the players as they've played each other many times. And then, of course, they come up here. And, of course, there are some of the Pakistan players who played in the Malaysian Hockey League. So, again, there's a familiarity there as well. But it is now time for the national anthems. And the first national anthem that we will hear will be the national anthem of Australia. And that is, of course, Advance Australia Fair. And that is the Australian national anthem played, and now it is time for the Malaysian national anthem, Negaraku. The formality is almost over. It's time for us to turn our attention to the team lineups. And first up, the team lineup for Australia. Well, they were very solid in defence last night, and that was partly down to their goalkeepers Matthew Edwards and Magnus McCausland. McCausland making a couple of crucial saves late in the game. They were very strong defensively with Grobbelaar and Downey looking good. Going forward again, there were certainly opportunities. Hawthorn impressed with the way he ran, and Lucas Toonen got through mountains of work as well as Oliver Will. So they'll be looking to continue in that vein of form today. They are, of course, coached by Jay Stacey. Malaysia, well, again, they had a tough day at the office. The shining lights were probably Jeffrey Nurse and Jasmine Jamlis, and along with their captain, Danish. And they're going to have to lift, and the players around them as well. Azimuddin had a good game, but we just need Harris, who was making plenty of runs, but his passing let him down occasionally. Just they need to make those connections work if they're going to challenge Australia. Their coach, Nursaiful Zaini. Well, Australia playing in white and the Aboriginal motif in teal around the bottom of their shirt. Malaysia in their traditional black and gold. Can they surprise many and get a victory over Australia today? The country awaits. And Australia, well, they will look to try and continue their winning ways. These two, of course, played off in the very first Sultan of Johor Cup final. As we get it underway, played back by Patrick Andrew. And Malaysia won that 2-1 in the final. That was the last time they won the Sultan of Johor Cup. It's been pretty fallow for them. Second in 2013. Third in 2015 and 19. Those were the last podium finishes. They finally got the ball. Danish, their captain, drops it out wide. Now it's now for Jeffrey Ness, who's closed down quickly, but the Australian player penalised early on is Oscar Sproul. In fact, it wasn't Sproul, it was actually Cade Lee. So Downey over the ball. Squaring the defensive line. And I was saying I didn't think it was that humid, but now I have to say it suddenly does feel a little humid, as the weather app was advising. Mallon playing it back into the defensive line, squared to Downey again. There is a slight breeze. The flags are fluttering on the far side of the ground. Breeze moving from right to left as you watch the screen. Good touch that time by Toonen. He in turn has managed to find Andrew. Andrew's inside the circle, appeals, but good defensive play by Malaysia. And in particular, Nabil Youssef. Nabil just lifting it over the Australian stick, helped forward, intercepted again, but battling back was Adam Johari. Free hit is going to be Australia's, though. Hawthorn goes back to Stebbings. Plays it on to the left-hand side. Swift movement by Australia, but I think must have just caught the foot. So Malaysia again throwing to the air. They were looking to do that. And I would just say with Malaysia, they need to kind of keep the ball on the ground and use their skills. Adam Johari manages to get possession back. He looked like he was going to lose it that time to Hawthorn. Australia have got it back though. That was good work being done that time by Akil. Akil wanting the ball back, but it didn't come, and the whistle's gone despite the run from Jasmine Jamlis. So it comes back now to Hanzala. Hanzala feeding it wide. Back into the defensive line again by Malaysia. Adam Johari will get the ball back now. Not many options defensively. Azimuddin carries it forward. Try to fire that one into the forward line. But again, the problem with that pass, if you watch that, was the Malaysian players were coming out to meet the pass. And then there was nobody in behind if they'd have got a deflection. So everybody came to meet the ball. You feel one of them needs to just stay behind. battling hard, double teaming. They had the ball for a second, but eventually Stebbings gets it. Good tackle coming in from Johari. Stebbings has it again, turns onto the forehand and just dinks it onto the foot. That was a little bit too easy for Australia. Good awareness, though, by Oliver Stebbings. Lives in Launceston, but plays for the Northwest Grads in Hobart. Of course, both those cities in Tasmania. Pressure being applied on the far side. Jeffrey trying to weave his way up the sideline. Got a touch off the Australian stick, so it'll be Malaysia ball just short of the halfway line from the side. Pass comes in from, and now it's stolen away. Stanger feeding it wide. That's a very good tackle. The stick's gone flying from Nabil Youssef. He has to go and retrieve it, but it was a good tackle to break up the attack from Australia. Stolen away again. Good tackle from Hawthorn. Hawthorn looking up as he comes forward, and was that off the foot? I think it might have been off the foot that time of Jamlis. Hawthorn turns into the circle, trying to use his 3D skills, but Malaysia steal it away. And that will go over the side off of the Australian stick. So Navanish plays it on over the top. That was actually a good pass to Danish. Trying to stand. There was a little bit of a nudge there from Dylan Brick. And the foot of the Malaysian player, and Danish, I think, is saying, well, what about the nudge before my foot? I have to say, I think he had a point. Although it was quite well disguised by Dylan Brick, man from the Central Hockey Club in the Australian Capital Territory. Comes across now to Azamudin. Carries it over the 23 metres, slips it wide. Shafiq has to play it back again. This is good pressure by Australia, not really allowing Malaysia to play the ball out from defence. That's been under hit, has to really panic. But Adam Johari did very well under pressure from Dakin Stanger. Watched all the way onto the stick that time. Wanting the free hit, but not getting it. That was Toonan. Toonan trying to close down Malaysia as they inch their way up the side. It was a good touch coming from Will. Play on is the call from the umpire. Pressure coming back this time from Harris Osman. He's done well to hold Australia up. Malaysia thought it was their free hit, but nothing doing. Robela plays it out wide now to Stebbings. Stebbings pushes it through. Malaysia steal it back again. Shafiq has to go down into the corner. Two Australian players hold him up there, but he got the pass away. Nice skills as well. Finds Adam Johari. Johari goes infield. That was a good pass from him. Again, there was just a little bump that time coming as he ran into Oliver Will. And there's space for Malaysia. The crowd finding their voice, but that was just too far ahead of the run coming from Atif. Will brings it down. And no one's run in that space for Oliver Will. I think he was hoping that Sproul would double back and go down there. Sproul, who came into this squad at the last minute, actually. That was following an injury to Sam Lowndes, the man from Echuca in New South Wales. Oh no, it's Victoria, I think. Echuca, yeah, Victoria. Jeffrey-ness. Well, he lifted that one and it was brought under control exceptionally well. That was really well played by Stebbins, and not a bad pass as well to find Will. Three Malaysian players helping each other out. Gone past the halfway stage of the first quarter. Did that catch the foot of Hammond? Not according to the umpires. Square it goes now to Tom Campbell. Campbell feeds it to the top of the circle. The shot comes in, but it's a good save this time. Haziq just playing that one down and making sure that the shot didn't result in the penalty corner. Stumbling a little bit there was Azik, but he held up and he got the pass away. He's making a good run forward, Azik, now. Again, just running across his line with Stebbings. And Stebbings' physicality just a little bit too much, I think, for Azik. Krobela. Feed it forward. I thought he was going to go for Hammond, but instead he's gone further forward and managed to pick out Toonen. Malaysia, though, stolen it back. The crowd really beginning to get behind Malaysia as their defence is standing up, trying to turn, and it done very well. It looked like it caught the body, and the umpire did say that. Harris Osman was charging forward. The Australians were convinced it had hit his upper thigh. That will be a free hit to Australia. Sproul, the man who was fouled, or the ball coming up after the challenge on Sproul. Sproul receiving the ball now, into the circle he goes, gets onto his forehand, tries to play it across and deflected towards goal. It will be a long corner. It was good work again inside the circle by Australia. Players in good positions in front of the goalkeeper. Malaysia need to get a touch. He's done well, but he won't keep possession. He's got a free hit for his toil, though. Good work by Navanish, and I would have liked to have seen Navanish get a little bit of a meter on that, because I've heard he's exceptionally fast player. And I just want to see him at pace. Australia stealing it down by the corner. Navanish's mum, Prabha Yavadis, was a sprinter in her younger days, I believe. And that's where his pace comes from. His dad may actually disagree with that. His dad, S. Tiravandran, was a footballer, so he may say that he had all the pace as well. But anyway, their son, I've been told, is very quick. I'll take it that that was a self-pass, because the ball didn't appear to be stopped. Just wandering out of defence with it. Krobler playing it square again to Stebbings. Into the midfield it goes for Australia. Nice turn from Toonen, but taken away from him well. Running into traffic and tumbling as Stebbings came across him. Amar, who got a goal last night. So Malaysia, as we're into the final 4 minutes of the first quarter, on the attack. Can they get anything from this run forward? Unfortunately, no. Amar couldn't keep the ball in play along the baseline. And it's just those little errors that they've got to try and cut out. Work hard to get in that position and put pressure on the defence of Australia, and then an unforced error sees possession back with Australia. Dylan Brick this time is the player penalised. Playing on quickly is the captain, Danish. Came off the stick of Stebbins. One back again by Malaysia, and Adam Johari comes wide once more for Malaysia. Jeffriness down the line he goes. Atif. They're into the circle, Malaysia. Did they find a foot? They want the foot. The penalty corner is given. So the first penalty corner of the match goes the way of Malaysia. Well, they scored 2 goals from 5 penalty corners last night. And Australia, well, they conceded none from the 4 penalty corners that New Zealand won in their match. So Australia yet to concede from a penalty corner. Malaysia have scored twice, so they got a conversion rate of 40%, and they would love to maintain that now, I'm sure. So Nabil Youssef looks to be lining up at the first battery, and it appears to me as if Azimuddin will be lining up at the second. And it goes to the second battery. Azimuddin fires Malaysia into the lead. And the crowd jump to their feet in celebration. The first penalty corner of the match. And Malaysia get it past Matthew Edwards. And it is Azimuddin who gives them the lead. And that will lift their confidence. But they will know that Australia will immediately come bouncing back Just 3 minutes left in the first quarter. First blood to Malaysia. The Australian players just going into a quick huddle just to regroup their thoughts and no doubt to also reassert the game plan. So Azimuddin, his second goal of the Sultan of Johor Cup. Azimuddin, whose dad was a coach, Kamarudin Misman, I hope I pronounced that right. He was the coach of Johor. And Azimuddin, of course, is a local boy. Well, originally, he's actually plays for Malacca these days, but has a connection to Johor anyway, with his dad having coached up here. Danish, good steal by him. The captain now, buoyed by his team's lead, carries it forward. There was a good lead once again from Azik. Azik plays it in, but a little bit too early. And you feel for Danish, who'd really made a run to get on the end of that pass, but it just needed to be delayed a few seconds. And Danish was in the clear as well, had it come to him. Malin fields it forward. Desperation by Malaysia that time. Shafiq missed the ball initially, but then managed to get it at the second attempt. And again, we see that desperation from Adam Johari. Johari carries it over halfway, holds it up, gets it forward. Dylan Downey just muscled his way ahead of the Malaysian player. And now it's Australia with a chance to go on the attack again. Lucas Tunen looking up. Helps it forward. Should be a Malaysian ball, and it is, but the pressure will come. Trying to turn, and over the side it goes, but it is Malaysia's ball. Tunen a little disappointed. Well, I'm not sure what Saif Zaini said to his team last night, but certainly they look a little bit more combative tonight. They are really taking it to Australia. Bryce Hammond from the side. Goes across field to Dylan Downey. Stebbings now. Stebbings throws it high and long. And that was a very important touch to make sure that the ball didn't get through to Cade Lee. Cade Lee has taken it quickly, drives towards the baseline. Long corner. And again, they're yelling at the ball patrol to get the ball on the field of play quickly. And it has been frustrating for players of all teams that they've had to wait for the ball, which has allowed defensive teams to get back behind the ball. Trying to stop Hawthorn getting through. Hawthorn still has possession. He's done very well. Feeds it towards the baseline, across the face of goal. What a save that was, and a shot on the turn. And it's going to be a penalty corner. Well, a really, really good save initially that time coming from Haziq Harrell. So now it is the first penalty corner of the match for Australia. Gives me a chance again to acknowledge our sponsors. iJourney is one of those, capturing careers differently. iJourney.au, and from all over the world, people are choosing the warm and wonderful city of Perth to live, study and work. Study Perth, you know it makes sense. studyperth.com.au. Well, Australia from penalty corners had 1 from 4 last night, and Malaysia conceded 5 from 10. The most penalty corners conceded and the most penalty corner goals conceded. They go to the first batch. It's a missed trap, so no chance for Australia from that one. Pat Andrew holds it up, but he's dispossessed illegally, so it will be a free hit. Taken very quickly. That is a super pass. Great defence, though, by Malaysia. Unfortunately, it's gone over the side. Well, I think that Duncan Jackson thought he had a little bit more time than he did, but the hooter goes. That is the end of the first quarter. It's been a good one for the host nation, Malaysia, because they have the lead. Azimuddin converting a penalty corner in the 12th minute means that at the first break, it is Australia 0, Malaysia 1.
Are you tired of boring resumes? Meet iJourney, a digital timeline that captures your skills, creativity and character all in one place. Capture your career differently with iJourney.au.
searching for a place where you can live and learn? Where you can immerse yourself in your studies and still have room to roam? If you want to find all this and still more, start here in Perth, Western Australia.
Well, the players back out, ready to get the second quarter underway. And not surprisingly, Malaysia, who have the lead with a first out. Australia just taking their time a little bit longer to get out onto the field of play. Australia won't be worried as yet. They will believe that they can get back. Taking Stanger to get us underway in this second quarter. Umpire's just waiting for the signal from the bench. Whistle goes back to Toby Mallon, and then Dylan Downey. Krobala. Again, Toonen offering himself. Always seems to be available, Lucas Toonen. And that wasn't the best of traps, and then played into the home player's foot. Played on very quickly. And a great steal in the end along the baseline. Dylan Brick looking at the umpire. He felt he was impeded. And then cleverly played onto the foot that time by Danish. So Akil happy to go back into the defensive line. Square it will go now from Jeffrey-ness. And Malaysia look to make their way forward up the right-hand side. Azimuddin, angled pass, goes all the way through and strong in the forward line. That was a really good steal by Malaysia. Comes wide now. Wanted to go with a reverse stick shot. It was covered quickly. Appeals for a penalty corner. Malaysia going to refer that. Brick certainly looked to play on, but I think he knows, it certainly appeared to me anyway, that it caught his shin. So Malaysia have referred this. And again, I would just like to remind viewers that we don't have access to the referral that the national broadcaster here in Johor has, and there's no big screen, so unfortunately can't really see what is happening, but I will try and look at the TV screens that are in the VIP box just below us. Just seeing that, it looks again as if it should be a penalty corner. It seems to me that it's beaten the stick and gone into the shin pads. Australia, though, not giving anything away. We're seeing the replay again. And the VIP's watching earnestly. And the penalty corner is given. So a very good referral by Malaysia. And this could be trouble for Australia. If Malaysia can get a second goal now, that would put them in a really good position. Once again, I'd like to acknowledge Project Innovations Pte Limited. Their in-house expertise adds value to the consultant's design, and they also assist by conducting value management and risk management workshops. So we have Azimuddin at the first battery. We have Nabil Youssef at the second. Australia's defenders finally getting in the goal. Matthew Edwards under the bar. Slight shift to the right. Goes to Azimuddin again. Takes a deflection. Comes back to the injector. Edwards came off his line and he just gets a touch. It'll be a long corner. Very close to Edwards' right-hand post. Azimuddin dancing around the ball. There weren't too many options. Too many white shirts preventing him finding one of his teammates. That's thrown high and long. Well, the whistle went very early there. The Malaysian player was at least 5 meters behind the Australian player. So there was certainly no danger. I suppose they're saying that it wasn't accurate enough to go straight to the Malaysian player. That's why it went to the defense. So again, same situation there where it wasn't accurate enough for a player to claim it was their ball. That's where I think the rule is a bit crazy. It came across, Tom Campbell tried to get it, didn't control it perfectly, and it rolls to the Malaysian player. But because he played it and he was within or deemed to be within those 5 meters, even though he'd made no attempt to step forward, he's the player penalised. Downey, oh dear. That's that ridge that we were talking about in the first game that apparently runs a little bit down this side of the field of play. Players saying that it just bobbles a little bit because Downey wouldn't usually make a mistake like that, and I think that was purely the surface. Coaches have said that it's a bit of a concern down this near side that it is about 50 centimetres in from the side. There's just a bit of a ridge where the ball bobbles. Malaysia being forced to play it all the way back to the 23. Suddenly a little bit of space appeared. Good strong strength on the ball from Nabil Youssef, but again, no way forward, so has to go back in the defensive line. The ball now comes to Jeffrey-ness. Jeffrey-ness, who looks up, carries it forward. Jeffrey-ness, of course, in 2023, played in the Sultan Johor Cup. He needed an operation on his shoulder, but delayed that so he could play in the World Cup, Junior World Cup, because the coach said they needed his knowledge, his expertise. So really sacrificed for the team and then had the operation after the Junior World Cup. So Malaysia again. Danish trying to get on the end. Good cover coming across that time from Hrobala. And Malaysia take it quickly. Danish trying to find a way in. Smashed into the circle. That will break for Malaysia. It takes a deflection. It's going to be a long corner for Malaysia. I think they felt there was maybe a foot as that came flying in. It's a pretty strong deflection. Umpire was well placed though, Ryan Potter. And I think Ryan Potter, I'm not sure, he's having a word, I think, with one of the Australian players. Maybe said something. Jeffrey-ness. Oh, wow, coming in at the back post. It was a well-timed run, but unfortunately the connection wasn't quite what Malaysia needed, but really good from Jasmine Jamlis. So warning signs again from Australia that they need to be alert. This is a Malaysia that is up for it today. Unfortunately, down the line and out of play it goes. Hawthorn turning around saying, I want the ball on my forehand, not having to spin around. Down the line it goes again. Helped forward, good pass that time from Akil. Will be another free hit. The ball played away. It's going to be a card against the Australian player. So a couple of minutes now. Australia will be down to 10. Can Malaysia take full advantage of it? Adam Johari on halfway. 5 minutes gone in the second quarter. In fact, almost 6. Once again, Jeffrey-ness feeds it out onto the right-hand side. Azimuddin gives it back to him again. No hurry from Malaysia. They now throw it high and long. And once again, it wasn't accurate enough. Both players moving. Played out of defence by Dylan Brick up the side. Good skills shown there. And Australia looking ominous coming forward. That was good defensive work by Hanzala. Again, good pass, managing to pick out Harris Osman. He finds Danish. Danish will carry it on, tries to take on Dylan Brick, feeding it into the path of his teammate, but it was just, again, too far ahead of Harris Osman. Willing runs coming, though, from the Malaysians. Australia happy to let that one run out of play. And slipping as he tried to receive that, Cade Lee. Has he got a free hit, or is it Australia's ball from the side? I think it's going to be a free hit. Maybe there was a slight nudge from the Malaysian player. Short pass to Mallon, back it goes. Dylan Downey now for Australia. Played up the side again by Dylan Brick. And will try and keep that in play, but good defence, just making sure from Azimuddin. Australia, as we reach the halfway stage of the second quarter, in an attacking position, looking to find an equaliser from somewhere. Dylan Brick again feeds it out wide. That's a good pass to Stebbings. Stebbings down to the baseline. It's an equally good pass across the face of goal. Appeals for a penalty corner. It's a sharp save again by Haziq. Still alive inside the circle for Hawthorn. Hawthorn's kept it going. Hawthorn again. Two Malaysian players following. Tries to turn and go down the line. Long corner was the best he could get. Stebbings again. Downey's pushed forward. Downey on the angle now. Tries to play it towards the penalty spot. Malaysia scrambling. Managed to get it over the Australian stick that time of Cade Lee. Toonan almost stole it back. The ball, though, in fact, will be a free hit. It came off the foot of the Malaysian player. Australia trying to play on too quickly. They didn't stop the ball. That's why the umpire called them back. Comes square again. Dylan Downey, a little bit of space, but again a mistrap by him. The pitch, not his friend tonight. So Malaysia can breathe easy at this point in time. Azimuddin throws it high. It's taken a deflection, and that might work to Malaysia's favour. Nabil Youssef feeds it into the circle, trying the shot. Appeals from Australia, and I think that was just a little bit too casual. I don't think he realised how quickly the Australian players were coming back. That was Aziq. And again, a misdirected pass by Australia. That's a misdirected one by Malaysia, but it went up off the stick of Tom Campbell, so it will be Malaysia's ball because that created danger. Carried forward again by Adam Johari. Short pass by him is a good one to Amar. Amar being pursued all the way by Campbell. Amar still going. Good tackle, though, comes in from Duncan Jackson. Jackson now trying to move one way, then the other. Helps it forward. Good interplay down the side in narrow space. Sproul will give it back to Jackson now. Jackson forced wide. Goes with a reverse stick, and well, it was a really good run by Sproul. He got inside the circle, was stretching for it, but not able to get the deflection quite the way he would have liked. But really good play by both Sproul and Jackson, running off the ball and managing to find each other. And Norsaiful Zaini went to 3 Olympic Games, 92, 96 and 2000. His opposite number, Jay Stacey, went to 4, 88, 92, 96 and 2000. So these two coaches would have been up against each other as players. That was, of course, as well in the times when Australia was a regular fixture at the Sultan Aslan Shah Cup. But unfortunately, since the Pro League, that has changed that tournament's priority in Australian hockey. Great shame. Malaysia into the circle they come again. Free hit goes Australia's way, and they play on very quickly. And again, looking to catch Malaysia, taking a tumble midfield was Navanish. Dylan Downey with the ball. Goes out wide onto the left-hand side. Will come back through the defence. Dylan Brick to Downey. Fed into the midfield. That's a very good turn in the midfield that time from Will. Across the baseline and trying to play that one in. Australia again. Are they going to refer this? They are. I'm just wondering whether with this one, Toonan is saying that the goalkeeper created danger with his save. It was certainly a good save again by Haziq. So this was the ball across there, and there's the save. Does it create the danger? Was the ball already going up? You sort of feel it would be harsh on the goalkeeper. Certainly, he makes the save and it goes around head height to the Australian player. But it was already rising from the Australian player, I would have thought, from that shot or ball across. But you can understand maybe the letter of the law is that it should be a penalty corner. And it is indeed a penalty corner. So a good referral by Australia. They get their second penalty corner and a chance to get on level terms. Dylan Downey is at the first battery. Waiting out the second is Matthew Hawthorne. So Downey and Hawthorne at batteries 1 and 2. Australia trying to find an equaliser before the half-time break. They go to Hawthorne, it's a mistrap, comes all the way through to Hammond. Hammond feeds it back across and it's a mistrap this time again by Downey, and it caught his foot, and the crowd from Malaysia, well, I'm sure you can hear them on our effects mic cheering that and applauding Malaysia. They are really here to support their team tonight. And of course, often we get the football ultras come and support Malaysia here in Johor. Oh dear, that's a cheap turnover this time, and there's a chance for Cade Lee. Good still back again by Malaysia inside the circle. Taken out wide this time by Jeffriness. Two Australian players hemming him in. Jeffriness pulls away onto the forehand, goes back onto the reverse stick, tries to turn again. Ran straight into the brick wall that happens to be Oliver Wilt. And then the free hit goes Malaysia's way, and the crowd again show their support for the home nation. Just over 2 minutes to go till half-time. And if Malaysia were to get a victory in this game, that would really throw a cat among the pigeons, certainly on the way the league table would be. And of course, if Great Britain can beat Pakistan in the next game, it would mean only New Zealand were without a win after 2 games. Great skills on the far side. Malaysia trying to get in. Danish gets a touch. Little bit of space. Can they get the shot away? Desperately trying to lay back, but he did it blind. Harris Osman has turned it over again when Malaysia had thrown players forward. Good strength by Australia on halfway. And unfortunately just too much pace on that, and Sproul couldn't get it under control. Well, that was something we saw again last night from Harris Osman. A couple of times when Malaysia were going forward, he plays the pass blind in the hope that a player's going to be there. And it's just not happened for him. He needs to find a man when he's in those positions. Comes wide again for Malaysia. Shafiq, first time up the side. Danish. Danish gets the free hit, hits the shin. Will be another free hit to Malaysia. We're in the final 40 seconds of the first half. Danish doesn't take it. The ball comes to him. He helps it down the line. Malaysia would love a penalty corner right now. Out wide it is Harris Osman. What can he do? Goes up into the air. Australia stole it off his stick for a second. Harris Osman again, keeping possession for Malaysia, but running the clock down. Trying to get outside of the corner. Wins a free hit, advances towards the circle. And Australia steal it away. The ball eventually falling to Hawthorne. He played it back into the corner. Now it'll be good work being done by Will. And that will be the final play of the first half. Well, Malaysia leave the field to a round of applause from their fans. They've battled really hard and have created some good opportunities, defended valiantly, has eked with a few really good saves. But it is Azimuddin's penalty corner goal that is the difference between the two teams. And at half-time, it is Australia 0, Malaysia 1.
Are you searching for a place where you can live and learn? Where you can immerse yourself in your studies and still have room to roam? Where you can receive a world-class education and learn more about yourself? Where there are amazing opportunities in the here and now and even better on the horizon? If you want to find all this and still more, start here in Perth, Western Australia.
Are you tired of boring resumes? Meet iJourney, a digital timeline that captures your skills, creativity and character all in one place. Capture your career differently with iJourney.au.
Are you searching for a place where you can live and learn? Where you can immerse yourself in your studies and still have room to roam? Where you can receive a world-class education and learn more about yourself? where there are amazing opportunities in the here and now and even better on the horizon. If you want to find all this and still more, start here in Perth, Western Australia.
Are you tired of boring resumes? Meet iJourney, a digital timeline that captures your skills, creativity and character all in one place. Capture your career differently with iJourney.au.
Welcome back to the Tamandai Hockey Stadium. Half-time about to come to an end here. Malaysia leading Australia by 1-0 in the second game for both these teams. And I know there are a lot of people out there who love their stats. Well, I can tell you that this game, these two teams have played each other 11 times in the Sultan of Johor Cup. And 5 times the game has been decided by just a 1-goal margin. So it tends to be a close affair. And I can tell you also that Malaysia has only been scoreless on one occasion. And we have to go back to, when was that? I was just trying to find out. It was an 8-0 victory to Australia in 2022. So it is the Australians who emerge first from the dressing rooms. Magnus McCausland will be under the bar for them in the second half. I expect Haziq will stay in goal for Malaysia, as they didn't rotate their goalkeeper last night, and I would think that they would probably do the same again tonight. Final huddle from the Malaysian team, and again they give the roar before they come back out onto the field of play. Very, very good first half from them. They've hassled and harried and won the ball and attacked the Australian team. The big question now is, can they hang on? Can they possibly even find a second goal? Haziq is indeed under the bar for them. This is a team that we've been told is growing in belief. And what I liked, talking to Nur Saiful Zaini, is he won't accept any excuses. He was a man that played 321 times for Malaysia. And when you consider he has exactly the same amount of caps as his opposite number, Jay Stacey, 321 matches for Australia. How's that for a coincidence? And there's another man that won't accept any excuses, Jay Stacey. So just waiting over the ball to get the second half underway. Navanish takes it himself and then plays it back. Can Malaysia hang on? Can they get a famous victory here in Johor in 2025? Australia trailing 1-0 at the moment. It is a margin of just the 1 goal. Azimudin into the circle, just short of the circle. It was deflected towards the circle, but Australia cleaning out. Hrobala feeding it through again, but nearly stolen back by Malaysia. Good work being done that time by Dylan Downey. How did that not end up on the stick of, it was Danish Irfan. Good ball forward. Toby Mallon over the side from Malaysia. Safety first is their policy. Mallon again decides to leave it this time. Infield it will come. To Ian Chrobala. Dylan Break feeds it down the line again for Australia as they try to stretch the Malaysian defence. Chrobala again. He has running down the sideline Dylan Downey, but deflected to Downey in the end. A great intercept by Malaysia. It was a really good pass to find Downey from Oliver Will. Malaysia again doing well. Free hit has gone against Malaysia this time. Well, I have to say one umpire gave it to Malaysia, one umpire gave it against Malaysia. And it was, and a penalty corner has now been given as well for not being the 5 metres. Malaysia, I think, wanting to refer this, or at least they are certainly questioning. Now, this could be a risky one for Malaysia. If they lose their referral, you just wonder, will they regret that later? So where's the free hit when it's been taken? So there's the foot, and he was definitely outside the 5 metres. So well, to me it appears that the player is definitely outside the 5 metres, and I think you might see this reversed. Just waiting, as I say. Hopefully, I think the message might be coming down. Malaysia not putting on their safety gear at all. Well, they're saying no decision possible. And so that will be, is it a bully? Yeah, it should be a bully. And I just wonder whether Malaysia will again do the sporting thing and just throw the ball up the line and out of play. Well, there's no bully beat. What a shambles that has proved to be. Clearly the players no idea how to have a bully, one of the most historic parts of the game. Patrick Andrew, yep, you got to hit the stick and then they can throw it back to you. But then, well, that has now been deemed dangerous. Well, this is a comedy of errors, in my opinion. And anyway, hopefully we can get on with things now. Toby Mallon goes back to Dylan Brick. Chrobala. And no touch that time from either side as it went straight through and out of play. Patrick Andrew was trying to get the touch inside the circle. Well, plenty on that. It's hit the post. It'll stay in play. Oh, Dylan Downey, the first to react. Malaysia. Downey throws it high. And not able to keep that in play. Oliver Will. So Malaysia from the side, just on halfway. Misdirected pass, and it's back with Australia. They get the chance to turn now on halfway. Stanger plays it out wide. Comes back to Oliver Will. Good hassling again by Malaysia. Downey feeds it into the midfield. Trying to turn now is Matthew Hawthorn. Battling away again. Good work being done by Stanger. Comes back to Dylan Brick. He goes square now. And it goes again to Hawthorn. Downey. Comes wide to Brick once more. Up the line. Malaysia didn't get there, but unfortunately for Bryce Hammond, he got his stick and then it kicked it. So all that possession comes to naught for Australia. And it is Malaysia who get the chance to go on the attack. I would have thought that was danger again. Question was the Australian player 5 metres when that was thrown? I don't think he was. I think he was about 3 metres away. Toonen goes back to Hammond now. Infield they go once more. Stebbings has been kept quiet. Nice turn this time in the midfield from Will. Dispossessed though, and Malaysia bursting forward again. Oh, that was almost a very, very good pass, but Amar couldn't get it on the end of his stick, and it goes harmlessly out of play. 16 now to Australia. Stebbings, who was so dominant in the opening quarter, has been stifled a little bit in the last two. Toonen, mistrap from him, has to scurry, gets it wide to Hammond. Hammond again, back to Stebbings. Squeezes it into the midfield, and Malaysia, a little bit too much close attention there on Toby Mallon, so free hit. Mallon's stolen about a metre from where the event was. He leaves it in the end for Stebbins. Grobbelaar goes back to Stebbings again. And Malaysia step out. Well, claiming a backstick there. The umpire, no argument from Malaysia. They just get focused and get back. Thrown into the air. Brought down inside the circle well by Sproul. Oh, my word. Well, Toonen, that was dangerous. I don't care what anybody says. I'm surprised he wasn't even spoken to, because as much as that's allowed, that was irresponsible. Good break forward now from Toby Mallon. Plays it across the top of the D. There's nobody there. Toonen runs to try and keep it in play. There is a responsibility when you take a shot to not make it dangerous. That's what I'm talking about in terms of Toonen's effort just now. So will be anyway a free hit to Malaysia. Jeffriness, short pass from him, the ball comes back. Australia look to put pressure on, played up the line, it goes to Nabil Youssef. He's closed down, good pressure again coming that time from Hawthorn. But Malaysia have squeezed it up the line, and over the side it goes. Playing on quickly is Azik. Azik feeds it top of the circle, but it couldn't be brought under control by Harris Osman. And so Australia have it over the side. It goes off the Malaysian stick. We're approaching the halfway stage of the third quarter. Still 1-0 to Malaysia. That was a little bit casual, but the ball's gone through, and it will go up in the air that time. So it is danger towards Duncan Jackson. Can he create something now? Plays it forward, slipping as he tried to receive the ball was Cade Lee. That was unfortunate, because Lee had made a good run along the baseline. Comes wide for Malaysia once again. Azimuddin. Oh, it's got around the back for Malaysia and tries to come across. It will be a penalty corner as they double back. Dylan Brick just creating the foul. Malaysia have their third penalty corner and a great chance to stretch their lead. Remember, they scored from their first. Can they score from their third? Once again, I'd like to mention our sponsors, One Active, fueling today's competition and backing tomorrow's champions. Hydration that keeps you going and gives back. Learn more at oneactive.com.au. And if you're visiting friends and family in Perth and you want the weekend getaway or a midweek getaway, head to 55 Preston Beach, just an hour and 20 minutes south of Perth, 10-minute walk from the beach. Look them up on Airbnb, 55 Preston Beach. So 42, we have Osman, Harris Osman, waiting at the top of the circle, and alongside him is Azimuddin, who scored the first goal. Azimuddin at the second, Harris Osman at the first. They go to Azimuddin. He slips it behind him. Harris, he's gone off target. Well, it was a good flick. It had plenty of power, but just lacked the direction. And Australia have thrown it forward. They've got players behind the goal, and it was almost kept in play. That was pretty impressive because it bounced extremely high. think that was Oscar Sproul who managed to bring that one down. But he couldn't keep it in play. So Malaysia again, just taking their time. They throw it to the air now, out wide onto the right. Brought down well this time by Jasmine Jamlis. Tries to squeeze it into the circle. It was a good block coming in by, I think it was Downey, made the block. Stolen away again in the midfield. Left the ball behind for a second was Adam Johari. He's closed down. Good defensive work being done by Cade Lee. Malaysia, do they feel confident at 1-0 that they can hang on for the last 15 minutes? Drilled forward, that caught the foot, so it'll be another free hit to them just outside the 23-metre line. Umpire just making sure it's taken from the right spot. Nabil Youssef feeds it forward. Danish now, the captain, into the circle. Oh, my word. That was a super pass by him. But unfortunately, the man who'd made the run into the circle had just overrun that, and that was Navanish. It went behind him. Had it been just about 2 feet further forward, it would have been a gimme, you feel. Although I'm sure that Magnus McCausland, after his display last night, would have an opinion on that. Dylan Brick feeds it down the line. Toonan now accelerates into the 23, gets past one, gets past a second. Malaysia steal it back, but illegally, says the umpire. Toonan being told to take it out further wider. He now throws a crossfield ball into space. It kicks off the turf, but it's brought under control. Nice touch again, just takes it away from Australian. Nabil Youssef happy to concede the long corner. Approaching the final 5 minutes of the third quarter. Australia still trailing 1-0 against Malaysia. Dylan Downey feeds it down the line. Comes back again, Toonan. Drops the ball back. It'll come all the way out to Downey over the 23. Was that time, in fact, from Will. Will did well, chasing back, closing down the avenue for Danish, but Danish almost actually reopened that corridor. He's thrown a difficult pass back to his teammate, but they've got it under control eventually. Comes square now. Shafiq will carry it out of the 23. Azimuddin's ahead of him. Good work again, coming back, putting pressure on. That was good from Cade Lee. Toonan now pushing up and making Malaysia have to think and also have to hurry. And Malaysia had to carry it out of defence. 3 players surrounding, and they didn't keep that in play. It was just a miscommunication there. Jeffrey Ness grimaced as he saw the ball just miss Azimuddin, who was running back, I think, to cover Jeffrey Ness. Toonan feeds it into the circle. Great turn, played to the back post, but a really good save, I think it was, by Haziq. And Haziq is going to want to adjust his goalkeeping gear. But that was good, quick ball from Australia. Jackson, I think it was, who fed the ball to the back post. Haziq, though, was aware of the danger, got ahead of the man at the back post. So under 4 minutes left in this third quarter. Oh, there's a little bit going on. Don't know if you just saw that there. Adam Johari getting into a little bit of a tussle with Oliver Will. Play on is the call. And again, I don't have a problem with that because I think that that was not controlled by the man receiving and it went to the defender. So the defender rightly, in my opinion, has the ball. Stebbins. Oh dear, Mallon just jumped over it and I think he thought Dylan Brick was coming up behind him, but Brick was a good 15 metres behind him. So Malaysia get the ball again on halfway. Brick will get, well, he should have got that one, but didn't it? Came off the top edge of his stick, and it'll be a long corner for Malaysia. Right out wide on the left-hand side. They've got to go further wide. Stole about 3 metres in from the edge of the pitch. Goes forward again now. Navinesh. Finally, we might get to see that little bit of magic I've heard so much about, but lovely touch. Just took it away from him. It was a good tackle by Stebbins. Comes wide now to Jackson. Jackson held up on halfway. Plays it square. Hawthorne feeding it out wide. Up the line it goes. Into Mallon now. 3 players surround him. Malaysia claim it came up off Mallon's stick. Caught the foot that time of Jeffrey-ness. Toby Mallon has a free hit. Plays it all the way back to Stebbins. He has an option wide. Manages to pick out Tom Campbell. Campbell into the circle. Edges his way along the baseline. Deflected towards goal by Jackson. And a really sharp save by Haziq. Jackson put his hand to his head. He thought that one was in. Haziq, though, would have seen it very, very late. Will takes it quickly, lays it back. And again, it ricochets up, and it's off the foot of the Australian player this time, says the umpire. So we're into the final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Malaysia hanging on to their 1-0 lead. I'm sure they'll just want to throw this one long. No surprises there. Danish is going to chase it. He may well get it. In fact, Danish has got it. Danish goes inside the circle. That was a brilliant tackle coming back from Stebbins. Well, Stebbins has been superb tonight. He was the under-18s player of the tournament in 2023 when Tasmanian Tigers won the national championships. Oliver Stebbins, and you're seeing some of the reasons why tonight. Timing of his tackles has been exquisite. Downey. We're into the last minute now. Dylan Downey will go square again. Played forward by Stebbins. Mallon trying to spark something for his team, but it's too far ahead. Goes out of play. Malaysia will take their time. The one time they want the ball patrol to be slow getting the ball back out. Comes out quickly. 36 seconds and counting. Again, Malaysia throw it high and long. And, well, Malaysia, Danish a little bit miffed. I think he thought that was his free hit. Mallon again trying to turn and feed the ball out wide. They've got 15 seconds. Unfortunately, a miscommunication again. Ball comes out. Listen to the crowd cheering Harris Osman on. I don't think Malaysia are going to have time to get it into the circle. There's certainly willing chases on. As Dylan Downey shepherds it out of play. The hooter will go any second now. There it is, and that is the end of the third quarter. It's been lively. Australia have been knocking on the door, but Haziq and his teammates have held them at bay. And as we go into the final break, it is still Australia 0, Malaysia 1.
Are you searching for a place where you can live and learn? Where you can immerse yourself in your studies and still have room to roam? If you want to find all this and still more, start here in Perth, Western Australia.
Are you tired of boring resumes? Meet iJourney, a digital timeline that captures your skills, creativity and character all in one place. Capture your career differently with iJourney.au.
Well, once again, the Malaysian players are the first out for this last quarter. I remember working with an expert commentator who always looked at who was out first. And John Taylor was his name. He's sadly no longer with us. And he always believed it sent a signal to your opposition. If you had the lead and you were out there first, it showed you meant business. Read into that what you may. But he believed that. Malaysia get us underway. 15 minutes for Australia to find a goal from somewhere. Malaysia may well resurrect their chances in the Sultan Johor Cup 2025. Great run forward coming from Oliver Wells. Slipped it out wide that time to Sprout. Mallon throws it out onto the right-hand side. That's brought down well as well. Tuna now sets off, tries to get around the back. Whose foot did that come off? In fact, it was off the stick of the Malay. No, it was. It is a 16. For a split second, I thought the umpire was signalling a long corner. I think the thing that worries me is if Malaysia try and just kill time, I think that will play into Australia's hands. If they actually keep doing what they're doing, they have a better chance of hanging on to get the victory in this game. Dylan Downey again has to accelerate towards the ball as it just ran away from him. Will, so influential last night. Mallon just slipping as he played the pass. Hammond got it under control at the second attempt. That's a good pass down the line. Into the circle go Australia. Penalty corner given against Malaysia. Is this Australia's chance? And they just clarify what that is for. Australia get their third penalty corner. And once again, I'd like to acknowledge our sponsors who make this live broadcast possible. And one of those is iJourney. It's certainly about it's your story, not just a CV. Check out iJourney.au. And again, Perth is a city where only the thing brighter than the sunshine is are the opportunities available for students. Studyperth.com.au for more information. Well, we have now Ian Grobbelaar at the first battery, Dylan Downey at the second. They go to Grobbelaar, and look at that for a flick. And Malaysia have found themselves having led the game for most of it since the 12th minute. Ian Grobbelaar gets his second of the tournament with a wonderful flick right into the top corner where the Spiders live. And he has pulled Australia level. And that is only just the second minute of this final quarter. So Australia now, can they go on and claim a victory? Or can Malaysia come back and reclaim their lead? 13 minutes, 45 seconds to decide those options. But Ian Grobbelaar, that was a wonderful flick from him. Having seen him play for Hale Hockey Club for the past few seasons, really seen him grow in stature as a player. Hale Hockey Club in Perth, Western Australia. Malaysia still keeping possession. Good work being done by Jasmine Jamlis. Down the line it goes. Kept in play, and Downey, did he just give a bump there to Navanish? It's going to break kindly though, and Malaysia will pick up the ball. There's a bit of a shove that time. It will be a free hit, taken quickly by Malaysia. Good pass down to the baseline. Return ball is there, but he missed his chance on the reverse. Jasmine Jamlis did so well getting Malaysia into the circle. It was a tricky one, an upright reverse shot as he was falling away. Toonan again trying to get on to the end of that pass. Lucas Toonan is one of those players you want in your side. He never stops running, just battling the whole time. Plays for the Adelaide Fire in Hockey 1. And Mallon looked like he was caught there, but it's a chance again for Amar coming forward. And he wants the free hit. Is just running across his line was Cade Lee. Cade Lee saying, well, what can I do? Malaysia would like, I'm sure, another penalty corner. Into the circle it goes. Malaysia have it under control. They lay it back. Oh, off the crossbar. Well, that was a great opportunity, and they can't believe it didn't go in. Amar was the player with the shot. It was laid back to him. He struck it perfectly. Managed to beat the goalkeeper, Magnus McCausland, which is no mean feat. But it ricocheted off the crossbar. And Malaysia got to believe that that wasn't an omen. Comes wide again now for Oliver Stebbings. Grobbelaar, who's pulled Australia level. Goes square now to Stebbings. The 1 point as well could be crucial for Malaysia if they hang on for a draw. Australia coming forward again, winning a free hit just outside the circle on the right-hand side. Running across to get the ball, Duncan Jackson. And Jackson wins another free hit just right where the circle meets the baseline. And I think it's a referral from Australia. I think they want a penalty corner. I think they might claim that was it a foot just inside the circle? Ooh, I think they might lose their referral here just watching the replay again. I'm trying to crane my neck and look into the VIP section. And it looks like the ball was lifted, but the Malaysian player was literally, his feet are just outside the circle. So we will see how it happens. In fact, well, they have given the penalty corner. So Australia do have a chance now to take the lead. Will they go with Krobler again? He's lining up at the first battery. No surprise there whatsoever. Alongside him is Dylan Brick. Malaysia, this was where they fell over really against Pakistan. They conceded 5 from 10. They've conceded tonight only 1 from 4, but this could be 1 from 3 rather, but this is the 4th. They go to Krobler again. It's a mistrap at the top of the circle. Australia try to keep it alive. Good ricochet into the circle. Hawthorn trying to keep it alive for them. Played in front of goal. Good save, Haziq. Just stood tall and let the ball hit him. Penalty corner going the way of Australia again. Malaysia complaint. I'm just wondering, because it looked to me as if the save certainly off the goalkeeper went down. It didn't go up. It's just, of course, whether that ricocheted up off the defender's stick, and was there danger just after that? That might have been the play off the rebound. I can just see the ball hitting the goalkeeper as I'm watching the replay. Sorry, I forget you can't see it. I'm trying to see it inside the VIP box. But anyway, we'll leave it to the umpires and we'll wait for the decision. It's too hard to see that far away. And once again, no decision possible. So we might go through another bully. They've had to go and get the ball again, which was placed on the baseline. And Australia is saying, well, just throw it out. And Malaysia is saying, we'll throw it long, thank you very much. So Cade Lee, happy to lose that. Malaysia do throw it long. And Stebbings will let that one run out for a 16. I don't think Australia can complain about that. If I was Malaysia, I would probably done the same thing. So Dylan Brick, we're approaching the final 10 minutes. A little mistrap by Stebbings. Haven't said that all night. Malaysia should get that, but well, Cade Lee is the player penalised. He doesn't agree with the decision. So Malaysia on the ball. Just a little bit of the pace gone out of the game, and over the side it goes that time off the stick of Nabil Yusuf. He didn't bring it down under control and it just dribbled over the side. Krobler plays it in. Stebbings now just carries it at will over the 23. Malaysia sit off him. He goes square to Krobler. Has Campbell up the left-hand side if he wanted to use him, but goes back to Stebbings. Will feeds it out wide. Wants the return pass. It's played far too far ahead of him. But he may do well to win it back. That was good work defensively by Jeffrey Ness. So Malaysia playing very deep now. Throw it to the air, watched all the way, and that was brought down well by Akil. Danish now managed to get away from the Australian tackle, feeding it forward, but good work again by Stebbings at the top of the circle. He had to make that. Comes wide now to Tunen. And again, good covering defence coming from Malaysia and Nabil Youssef. Tunen plays on quickly, driving towards the circle, held up momentarily, turns to have another bite at getting towards the D. Then he just played the ball blind again behind his back and sees it back with Malaysia, who play it onto the foot and will get the free hit. You have to say in this tournament there are some great drag flickers. Penalty corners are leading the scoring at the moment in the tournament. We've got 26 goals scored, 15 from penalty corners, 1 penalty stroke, and 10 field goals. Dylan Brick will get the ball back. Mallon just surveying what was available. He'll go square again. We're approaching the halfway stage of the final quarter, all tied up at 1 apiece. Dylan Downey. Australia beginning to string passes together. Malaysia steal it, but illegally. Penalised that time was Azik. Comes back to Dylan Brick once more. Malaysia wanting to make changes down below, but the players not prepared to leave their stations at the moment while Australia is moving the ball so crisply. Oliver Will carries it wide. A little touch that time off Jeffrey-ness, put it over the sideline. It's been a while since we've seen Malaysia have a meaningful spell of possession. Since the goal, Australia, you'd have to say, have dominated. Comes wide again, trying to cut infield. That was good from Cade Lee. Ball was lifted up that time by Iman Faizo. Hawthorne, a little shimmy from him, almost took him past the defender, but defender slipping held him up. Stebbings fields it out wide into the circle. There's a great chance. Up it goes. Haziq made the save. And Malaysia are first to the rebound on the edge of the circle. A little bit fortunate that time. It came straight to Jeffrey-ness. He plays it back. Australia trying to hem Malaysia in. And that was a stick tackle, so they've got the free out. And Jeffrey-ness, I think, is in a bit of trouble. I'm not sure what it was. He looked to be in a bit of pain and then just sort of went down briefly, stood back up, and then has gone back down on his haunches. And he's back up now. Just under 6 minutes left in this match. Malaysia would love a win. A draw, I'm sure they would take. And they've turned it over in the middle of the field again. Downey, though, is penalised. Well, there's a couple of players in the defensive line for Malaysia, I think, cramping up a bit. Well, that was taken away. Over the side it goes. And, well, for a split second, Adam Johari was thinking about referring it. He is, in fact, going to refer it now. I think he's saying that it was a backstick just siding the ball away. Well, again, we'll have to just wait and see what the video umpire says. Amma Chudazama from England is being kept very busy in this game. The big question is, will Malaysia get their penalty corner that they're hoping for? Once again, just like to acknowledge Project Innovations Pte Limited, an independent consultancy providing project management services covering all stages of a construction project, from its inception through construction to completion. Project Innovations Pte Limited. Just look them up, and if you can use their services, please do so. Also, One Active, fueling today's competition and backing tomorrow's champions. Hydration that keeps you going and gives back. Learn more at oneactive.com.au. Well, we're still waiting for the decision to come down from upstairs and the video umpire. And the penalty corner has gone Malaysia's way, and the crowd are extremely happy. So a good referral by Adam Johari. It'll be even better if Malaysia manage to score from this penalty corner. Well, the crowd beginning to find their voice. The Australian players putting on their defensive gear. Navanish makes his way to the baseline. Nabil Youssef at the first battery, Azimuddin at the second. I'm sure they'll go to Azimuddin, you feel. He scored 2 already. They do go to Azimuddin. He flicks, takes a deflection, and it will be another penalty corner. So Malaysia now get their 5th penalty corner. Two players taking up the same positions once again. Navanish places the ball on the baseline. The crowd cheering, slight shift to the left. Azimuddin flicks again into the first runner. Replay, what a save from McCausland. And the ricochet is brilliant for Australia. It went straight to the player wide on the right-hand side. Malaysia herring back through the middle of the field of play. Good work by Stanger. Into the circle it goes. Played back. Malaysia clear it. Well, that ball was aimed for Toby Mallon, but it was a little bit short. Malaysia intercepted. Played it out over the side, but what a counter-attack from Australia. 4.5 minutes left. Dylan Downey. Good work again coming forward from Brick. He's surrounded by 2 Malaysian players, and they've come up with the ball. Holding it up, Adam Johari, who won the penalty corner. He tries to drill it forward. Very important touch there, and up in the air. Dylan Downey just using his body, I thought, to step across the Malaysian player. Comes back, though, to Grobbelaar. Grobbelaar looking for options. Mallon has to go back to the goal scorer for Australia. The free hit going the way of Oliver Wilt. He'll leave it for Grobbelaar. Makes his way inside the circle, moving one way then the other. So a green card has been issued now to Jeffriness, who, that's for being within the 5 metres. I'd like to actually see that again because it smashed him in the shins. Was he 5 metres? He certainly looked as if he was from up here, but may have been 4.5 or 4. Big decision late in the game from the umpire. And coming across is Grobbelaar. He wants the free hit. They're battling away in the midfield there. Grobbelaar gets it. Malaysia steal it back, but the free hit goes Australia's way just as they were trying to play in through Amma. Will trying to get it under control, but he lost it in the end. Malaysia have it back. Adam Johari closed down by Toonan. Toonan snapping at Johari as he takes it back to the corner flag. Australia desperate for a winner if they can get it. Good ball forward this time from Nabil Youssef. And Australia, have they stolen it? They have indeed. They've been given the free hit. Well, that certainly wasn't stopped before it was played on. Well, again, the crowd not happy with the challenge there from Will as he went in on Azimuddin. And they're calling for the stretcher. or the physio anyway. It's possibly cramp. Yeah, looks like it's actually cramp for Azimuddin. He will have to leave the field of play, though, because the physio has come on. As I say, I just still question, and it's just a matter of if you're going to enforce rules, you have to stop the ball. Toonan, I don't think, stopped the ball as he played on with that free hit. And in a game like this that's on a knife edge, we've got 2.5 minutes late, you must enforce those rules, because then if Australia had scored, it's a contentious issue and everyone will be talking about it. That's my opinion. It is just my opinion. It is not necessarily... Well, the umpires are talking now. And they're asking for a referral to look at the challenge. So this is an umpire referral from Mohit Rawat of India. The challenge from Oliver Will. Azimuddin hobbles off the field of play. And they would have wanted him on if they got a penalty corner. But he certainly looks to be in a bit of trouble. Whether that's just the cramp or whether that was the challenge that was put in upon him. Certainly he flew up in the air. Will is now explaining his case to the umpire. We're still waiting for the decision from the video umpire as to whether Will deserves a punishment. Umpire's pitch side originally didn't feel there was any need, and I think that is the final decision. So it will be just a free hit to Malaysia. It looked a strong challenge, but there were two players going for the ball in a determined way. And I think just the bigger Will just sent the smaller Malaysian player flying. It didn't look too bad. That was kicked by Hrobala. So it'll be a free hit to Malaysia, but they want the ball. Nabil Youssef, short pass by him, left behind by Danish. That was an important ball that he needed to keep under control. Comes wide to Campbell. Campbell, can he spark something for Australia? Looking to switch play out onto the right-hand side. That's a good ball by Campbell. Downey to Hrobala now. We're into the final 2 minutes of the match. Hrobala smashes that forward. And a mistrap that time from Patrick Andrew. Slaps his thigh in frustration. It appears to me that Malaysia are happy with the draw. Australia, you can tell just by their energy and the urgency by which they're playing. They want to get the win. Look at that coming back. Good work again being done by Stanger. Dylan Brick, short pass, goes to Hrobala. He tries an angle pass, but it goes too far ahead of Bryce Hammond. So it'll be Malaysia ball down by the corner flag. Shafiq throws it high and long. Australia intercept. And that is a very good pass as well. Toonan, Mr. Energy. Malaysia, they just smashed that one forward again. That is just anywhere will do. Let's take the pressure off. We don't have to defend so much. We're into the final minute. Australia will carry it forward again. No one inside Australia's half from Malaysia. Dylan Downey will be able to carry it into Malaysia's half. Goes square now. Hrobala. In the end, he has to go to Downey again. We're into the final 30 seconds now. Downey closed down very well that time by Jasmine Jamlis. Ricochets up off Jamlis. It's going to be a free hit to Australia. 15 seconds just left behind there by Hawthorn. Hrobala takes it, fires it into the circle. No one gets a touch. It's gone out of play, and that may well be the end of the game. The Malaysian players look shattered. They're happy they've got a point as some of them sink to their knees. They worked extremely hard. Haziq has fallen prostrate in his goal. He is ecstatic that they managed to get a point and hang on. Well, for so long they had the lead, but in the end it's Ian Hrobala's penalty corner goal that rescues a point for Australia. Malaysia battled so hard after taking the lead from Azimuddin, but the final score is Australia 1, Malaysia 1.
Are you tired of boring resumes? Meet iJourney, a digital timeline that captures your skills, creativity and character all in one place. Capture your career differently with iJourney.au.
Are you searching for a place where you can live and learn? Where you can immerse yourself in your studies and still have room to roam? If you want to find all this and still more, start here in Perth, Western Australia.